So, this is the Lighthouse. This is the HMV first edition. And now, it's going to unbox it. So it comes in this exclusive slipcase, and comes in this black Blu-ray case. Macbeth. I actually had one, Macbeth and American Psycho on Blu-ray recently, and they both came in a case like this. And yeah, I love it when cases come looking like this with black instead of blue. It looks way cooler in comparison. And you open it up. We've got here some. Got some exclusive art cards. You've got this one with the alternative cover. You've got main cover. You've got the seagull, and then you've got this one shot from the film. And yeah, and I guess one of the really good things about this is that from what I've read up, this actually does have some special features on it, because on The Witch there were no special features, so I guess that's even better for the Lighthouse. But yeah, now it's time to watch it. Okay, so what am I expecting with this? I guess I'm expecting a film quite like the previous one, The Witch, probably with a little less horror vibes. From what I've been hearing, it's more like a mix between comedy and horror and all that. I'm expecting it to be something close to The Shining. I'm not going to put it up to that quality like straight away. I think it could have the potential to reach that quality, but as of right now, I'm kind of going to go in sort of expecting to enjoy it. I do think I'm going to enjoy this. This feels like it's going to be the kind of film that I would personally enjoy, but I don't know. I've been waiting for this for months, since October, so I'm excited. I'm going to watch it now, and I will say how I felt about it after. I just finished the film, and that was haunting. That was I don't think I've ever seen a film like this before, where just as it kept going, it just got more and more just disturbing in this really twisted way. The thing was that it wasn't. It never did anything that was like, you know, like the most shocking, most just violent or screwed up thing imaginable. Like, nothing like that happened, sort of. But just, I think it was past the hour mark. I think past the hour mark, the film basically went from this very, very slow burn to this just really slow and torturous descent into madness, and that was even better than I was expecting. I honestly thought I thought it was going to be good. I thought maybe, it might be overrated, but I was thinking it was going to be a good film. But look, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to say anything about the final shot, the final things that happen. I feel like for the first watch, as of the first watch, I feel like the whole ending is what's impacted me the most for throughout this whole thing. Like, about the 1 hour mark, you have the scene that pretty much anyone who has heard of this film knows about, which is the curse scene, where both of them are drunk. Both Winslow and Tom, and then Tom basically puts a curse on Winslow, and that scene, like, this is hard. I'm really trying to think. My mind's just like, when I'm off script, like when I'm unscripted like this, I can usually just go from one point to the other, but I guess I should just. I guess I'll talk about like the filmmaking. I guess cinematography was just beautiful. It was beautiful. Like the variety of shots, and just how every shot in the film was just brilliant. Like, just the first shot alone, like how it slowly went from this sort of hard to even tell what was going on image to this, like, to just being able to tell the waves. Just that was amazing, and that was just the first shot. There was one shot that was quite reminiscent of one shot in Shining, where in The Shining, Jack, I think if I remember correctly, like, he was like sort of leaning quite close to the door, and I think it was a worm's eye view, like looking up, and there was a similar one with Robert Pattinson basically putting the coal in, but of course, because it was further on in the movie and because of all the orchestral cue and all that, it was a lot more intense. And then the orchestral cue, like the soundtrack, I think I pre-saved it to my Spotify about a few months ago, and I listened to like a couple of the tracks, but like watching the whole film, I'm not even sure if I do want to go through the whole soundtrack, because it's just, it's cursed. It's demented. It's brilliant, but it's honestly horrifying. But yeah, the music was really, really good, and as well, and the foghorn as well, the repeating cue of the foghorn. I thought I was gonna get sick of it, like, when I heard it after about a few times, but I think as the film went on, it kind of just made itself sort of welcome in the atmosphere. It made itself show that it was important to the story. I guess I'll go on to another point. The characters, both of them, Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe's characters, Robert Pattinson being Winslow and Willem Dafoe being Tom. The fact they weren't even nominated for that many things. Like, I don't really believe in awards buzz and that. Most times out of 10, the bullcrap wins and gets nominated, and then all the really good stuff like this just gets completely overshadowed. I think everyone who talks about this movie, they always say that, you know, Willem Dafoe is like the best part and all, and, you know, honestly, for me, I wouldn't say Willem Dafoe was the best part. I'd say Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson were the best part. They were both, to me, equally as just, well, brilliant. Brilliant, seriously. The thing was, I think the reason why I think it was some of the best acting I've ever seen is because, for the simple fact that I was forgetting there were even actors as the film went on. I think, like, just now, when I've said, oh, you know, Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, I've had to actually distinguish that they're actually actors, because in the film, it didn't feel like that. Like, at the beginning, you know, you're like, oh, you know, it's Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, but after that, you know, it just, they're not them anymore. They're just the characters. Just the descent into madness. It is a descent. It's crazy. Like, compared to Robert Eggers' previous outing, The Witch, you know, this just felt like, this felt on like a whole nother level of just crazy, of just demented. Like The Witch had some visuals and some moments in it that were just incredibly uncomfortable and just felt cursed. But in this, it's like every few minutes, like a whole new thing comes in that just absolutely gets under your skin. I feel like just a huge percentage of the runtime just got under my skin. And I loved it because of that. I loved how it got under my skin, but I was watching this film without these lights on, just completely surrounded in the dark, pretty much never getting up. I watched the whole film in one sitting, and it sure amplified the experience. It was just on a whole nother level, really. Like, I get why this is so hyped. Like after watching it, I get it now. This film was phenomenal, seriously. I've never seen a film like this before. Like, I've seen many ambiguous kind of films before. Like, I think Under the Skin was one with Scarlett Johansson. That film, like, when it just throughout the whole runtime, it just didn't feel like I was watching a traditional film. And I say that about a few other examples as well. But this one especially, it felt like an experience more than a film, if that makes sense. Like, you kind of, when it starts off, you're kind of, you know, like for me being a media buff, you know, I kind of look into like the particular parts, like the acting and the cinematography and all of that. And at the start, you know, I was focusing on that, but as the film went on, I kind of just, my mind kind of just stopped focusing on that and just focused on what was happening, while also, you know, somewhat thinking about the technical sides of the film. And what was happening was just so enthralling, was just so engaging that it just never let go. I feel like it's a slow start. You know, it's very slow to get to what feels like a point, if that makes sense. I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm saying that, you know, the build up, it doesn't feel like build up. It feels more like it's kind of just scenes that are playing. And then near the end of the film, when you think back to all of those scenes, at least from what I'm thinking about right now, I am starting to see little things here and there that I feel like, when I watch this for the second time, which I can't wait to do. When I watch it that second time, I'm going to notice so much more. I'm going to understand it so much more. I don't think this is one of those films where on first viewing I didn't get it. I feel like I can't even say I got it, because the film's finished, because I just finished the film, and I still am not sure if I fully understand it, but I don't think, but I wouldn't say that that's a problem though. I feel like on repeat viewings, the film is just gonna make more sense to me. I want to look into this film. It's just so interesting, and it's like I said, it's unlike anything I've ever seen before. I think the one technical aspect I just want to focus on just right now, is it's two things. It's the black and white, just how the whole film is black and white, and the 1:19:1 aspect ratio. Both of these aspects just amplify the film to this whole new level. I thought when I originally saw the promotion, I originally saw the trailers, just how the film's black and white and it's squared. I kind of just thought, I don't really see the entire point of this. I guess it's just going to be like a stylistic kind of thing. But when you watch the film, it makes so much more sense. What I thought, like when I was watching the trailers, looking into little bits before I watched the film that weren't too spoilery, there were little things that I thought in my head that I thought, okay, that's what this means, before I'd even seen the film, just simple shots. And then after seeing the film now, not only with the context of those shots just become even more haunting and even better of shots, but it's even better now. It's all so much better now because every single little bit of the trailer that I thought I looked at and just thought like, oh, I wonder how that's going to be explained in the movie. When it's explained, explained in the film, it's on this whole other level. It's like you think in your head how that's going to be explained, and then the film just shows you how it's explained, and you would never think of something just crazy. I think with the aspect ratio, the main thing I noticed was that I was noticing many times throughout where I completely forgot about it. Because at the start, I of course noticed it because most of the shot isn't even there because it's blocked off by bars, but as you kind of get immersed into these scenes, because I feel like the immersion in this film is amazing, because you get so immersed into just everything. You feel like you're there, you feel like a spectator to this chaos, to this madness. But the black bars, you feel like they stretch out as the film goes on. You feel like they're not even there anymore. They're kind of part of the scene themselves. Like sometimes they even are part of scenes, because the cinematography, which is just brilliant. It finds really unique ways of like darkening the shots so much where you can still tell what's going on, but it basically makes it look like the black bars aren't even there because the darkness kind of stretches it out, which I just thought was so clever and all that. There was just so much to love about this film. There was so much to look into. Like I just want to do a watch of this film where I just take everything in, but like in a way where I start to sort of take notes and try to get an understanding of most of this. I want to try and understand this film. It's just so enthralling. It's on this whole nother level of intrigue. Like, I feel like if I narrowed the plot down, it would be rather simple, but if I explained it from scene to scene, it'd be like watching the film itself. It would just be confusing, but in that confusion, I just feel like there lies this really just epic story that's sort of hidden within all this ambiguity. God, I can't speak properly. Just hidden under what feels like meaningless nonsense. Kind of like the drunken ramblings of the characters at points.
If I had a steak, I would fuck it.
it's what the whole plot can feel like at points. When you just sort of let the film kind of resonate, it makes so much more sense. I'll say this, if you have even the slightest, like sort of just slightest, even tiniest intrigue, not intrigue, just interest in this film, just watch it. Just get it however you want to, you know, rent, buy it digitally, get it physically. I'd recommend getting the physical version. It's pretty cool version actually. I can't wait to watch the special features as well, like just seeing how this film was made and looking forward to that. I wouldn't recommend this to everyone. Like there would be people who would watch this film, they probably wouldn't even get through all of it, but if they were committed and they just got through the whole thing, they probably wouldn't enjoy it. I get that. It's one of those kind of films where there are definitely people who are going to hate it, are going to say it makes just no sense whatsoever. I feel like to anyone who wants to just watch a film that just immerses them into this really dark, intense... Well, I wouldn't say like the film is really like intense in the sense that, like, you know, you like a film like Alien where you're kind of always under suspense. I wouldn't say it's intense in that way. I'd say it's intense in the way that it sort of slowly feels like it's building up to something sinister, and yeah, there is this sinister presence that lies in this film. It is terrifying, especially with that last shot. Again, will not spoil it, but I'd seen an image of what it looked like before, and when I actually watched it in the film, it was just, it was even more terrifying than the image. Like, wow. I wasn't ever thinking of a numerical or you know, grade or just anything while watching the film. I told myself beforehand I probably wasn't going to think about what I was going to give this film in terms of stars or whatever. But I thought maybe I might have thought it a little bit, but I didn't once. The whole time I was just watching the film. And after finishing it, easy 5 stars. There was nothing wrong with it. I'm someone who likes a lot of media. Like there's some media I detest. There are a lot of things where, you know, I kind of feel like even sometimes I feel like I'm overpraising them. And there's loads of films that I would just give a 5 simply because, you know, I feel like there are no flaws at the time I watch it. This is one of those films where I honestly cannot find anything wrong about it. Everything about it is perfect. I can't wait to watch it again. I cannot wait for my second watch. It's going to be so interesting. I feel like for my second watch, I want to try and find someone who actually wants to watch this film to watch it with me, because I don't know, I just feel like it'd be really interesting, like exposing this film to someone I know, because just to see their reaction to it. I feel like most people it would probably be like sort of uncomfortable looks, confused looks, and terrified looks, most likely. I'd say I'd recommend this to not everyone, but anyone who's interested in it, or anyone who wants to just watch a film during this time or any time after. Just if you just want to watch a film that's not like any others you would ever watch, then I'd say go for it. If you're put off thinking that, oh, you know, it's a horror film, it's a drama, you know, whatever genre you've heard this film being, you've maybe been put off by it a little bit, don't worry about that, just go straight in. It's classed as a horror, and I'll say its horror elements are very disturbing from what I see in it, but it's not exactly disturbing in the sense that someone would be like startled by it. Like there are, I think there's like a few, maybe like a couple like transition scares, like in The Witch, where it goes from one thing to another just so quickly that it might make you jump. So if you're worried about that, don't be. It's fine. This film is more of a sort of psychological horror, and for what it does in that aspect, it's done really well. I feel, after watching this film, I feel uncomfortable, somewhat terrified. I feel like I might have nightmares, and I am more than satisfied. So if you can, definitely check out this film. I am sure you won't regret it.